Alright class, so these are the heart lab images. Seeing already first the lecture piece of this will make more sense, and this will be kind of like a little bit of a walk in the park, okay? First, we see the cardiac muscles. As we have mentioned in class, they kind of look like pants, or at least they look like made to pants. So you'll see that they are striated muscle tissue, but also you guys will see the nuclei, right? And also these little lines that are kind of like perpendicular are the intercalated disc that they work as junctions, so the information can go through instead of jumping around, making it more efficient, okay? Same thing here. We see the muscle cells of the heart. We see a nucleus here, and we see intercalated disc connecting each cell, okay? All right, so here we see a schematic and complete explaining of the heart anatomy. So we have a base, we have an apex, we have an interventricular sulci, a right sulci, a left sulci. We have atrium, ventricle, ventricle, right, left, right, left, right? Then this bad boy here is a pulmonary truncus that is going to turn into two pulmonary arteries. This guy here is the ascending aorta. And we have right lung, left lung, superior vena cava. Coming from below will be the inferior vena cava. This whole area will be known as the mediastinum, right? Another look at the heart. This one is more real life. You see the apex of the heart here. The little base of the heart is kind of like in the back, but we can see also a little bit of the right atrium here and the sulci here. We also see some veins here, and we also see the atrioventricular sulci. This flap will be pericardium, okay? This flap here, and this is the sac that is engulfing the heart to separate it and also anchor it from the lungs, okay? Below we see a little bit of the diaphragm, and just a little bit hidden in the back you'll see some of the gray vessels, okay? And this yellow thing that is around the heart, that's fat. All right, here, so we are seeing here the heart. We see a little bit of the atrium here. We are also seeing the pulmonary trunk here. We see the apex in this area. We see the interior interventricular artery on this side. This is artery as well of the heart, coronary artery. This is the right ventricle, okay? Lungs, the area known as the mediastinum, okay? Diaphragm. Same again here, same structures. This beefy area here is part of the atrium, right ventricle, and you guys can see here, and this will be the division. So this area here will be the right ventricle, and a little bit hidden behind it's the left ventricle, okay? And here you guys can see a little bit of the right atrium, pulmonary trunk, and again will be right lung, left lung. All right, seeing it from the back or from the side. So we see some intercostal arteries. The meniscus veins are a group of veins that are flooding through the vertebra. And this bad boy here is the descending aorta. We saw a ascending aorta, so we have the ascending aorta is going to come here, and there's going to have a piece that is called the truncopulmonary branch, and then it's going to become the descending aorta, okay? So in this side we'll see the left ventricle, okay? And just a little bit here, if you guys squint enough, you guys will see the not the pulmonary veins. No, yeah, the pulmonary veins, bringing the oxygenated blood from the lungs. All right, so a little bit of the heart here. This is a transverse cut. This heart, it's too beefy, in my opinion. This person very likely already has some problems with his heart. It's too thick. But regardless of that, there's a good comparison of how both chambers look. So we have a right ventricle and a left ventricle. See the thickness difference? Even if this heart was healthy, there is a good difference of thickness, okay? This chunky part here is the interventricular septum, okay? This one is on the left side will be the bicuspid valve, and this one, the right side, will be the tricuspid valve, okay? Right atrium, and this side will be the left atrium, okay? All right, here, very easy peasy, right auricle, which is same thing as atrium. We have the left atrium. We got the ligament arteriosus, that's the one I told you guys about when kids are born. Left auricle, left ventricle, sorry, right ventricle, left ventricle, apex. This bad boy here is the superior vena cava, pulmonary trunk, ascending aorta, bronchopulmonary trunk, and then the descending aorta will be here, okay? All right, so here we have everything labeled. Now it's your turn to label it. Now this is posterior, okay? So here we have, or no, I'm sorry, no, it's a posterior view, my bad. So it's more like posterior, but also a little bit inferior, because from here we'll be looking at the inferior vena cava, okay? Here we have the apex, right ventricle, left atrium, and one of the giveaways are these 4 pulmonary veins, right? So this one is the inferior vena cava, this one will be the superior vena cava, okay? Now you guys have it. Everything is labeled. As you guys see here, it says the left pulmonary vein, and we have the right pulmonary veins here. Inferior vena cava, superior vena cava. That one is the aortic arc, or bronchopulmonary arc, and then it's branching of that area. Here we see the coronary sinus as well. And of course you guys see that that's the division, the sulci. And then the middle cardiac vein, but also the posterior interventricular artery. Now it's your turn to label. All right, so now this is a interior look of a heart. And here you can see a few structures, okay? So here we have the right atrium. This is a little bit like twisted to the side, and this is because it's anterior superior, so looking from above. So you see the right atrium here, the superior vena cava, the aortic arch, also known as the bronchopulmonary trunk. We see the left ventricle and the right ventricle here, okay? Same. Now your turn. And now this is an anterior inferior view, meaning from the front and below, which is a perfect opportunity to look at this valve. So this one is the pulmonary semilunar valves that are going to go to the pulmonary truncus and then to the lungs, right? And if you guys see, there are 3. Same thing here with the aortic semilunar valves. And we see here the mitral valve. So this one is in between the atrium and the ventricle. The tricuspid is on the right side and it has 3 as well. And this one is the right ventricle. see the thickness here. Now your turn. Now we see the heart with the different structures. There's a little bit of fat here, but also we have the right atrium here, left atrium. We have the circumflex artery, the right coronary vein, and the right coronary artery, inferior vena cava, superior vena cava, aortic arc, pulmonary trunk, left pulmonary artery, right pulmonary artery. On the back, you guys get to see a little bit of the pulmonary veins on this side. Okay. Apex. Here we have the anterior interventricular artery. Now your turn. Now this one is from a posterior view. You guys get to see the coronary sinus, inferior vena cava, superior vena cava, the aorta, and the pulmonary veins, which are 4. Okay. Apex. We also see the left ventricle here, but also we see the posterior vein of the left ventricle and the interventricular posterior artery. Now your turn. Now things here are going to be a little bit more labeled. So we can see the pulmonary trunk. Also we get to see those little swallow or bowls or nest like valves. This one are the pulmonary valves, and behind it are going to be the aortic valves. This is a area where the right atrium is, but also we get to see a little bit of the entrances of both superior and inferior vena cava, right? Then this good friend here is the fossa vallis, and also we're going to see the tricuspid valve here. Then we have the chordae tendineae, which are these little pieces that are going to touch the valve to the walls of the heart. Then we have the pectinate muscles that are going to be present here and here in every lining of those 4 chambers. Aorta. We're going to have the intraventricular septum, and there's an interatrial septum, which is this one in the back, and we don't get to see much because it's blocked by this, guys, but it's there. Okay, now you can see it. All right, so this is a good view. So this is anterior, this is posterior, and you guys can see here 3 valves, and this is in between the atrium and the ventricle. So this one is the tricuspid atrioventricular valve, and then here we see 2. This is the bicuspid or mitral atrioventricular valve. Okay, left, right. Okay, and at the same time we are seeing the semilunar valves or the aortic valves, the semilunar pulmonary valves, and this is seen from above because we get to see how these guys look from above. They look like little balls. Okay, now your turn. Now in the real flesh. Okay, so if this one is the right side, we see that there's a tricuspid valve. Okay, and on this left side we have a bicuspid valve. All right, we see a pulmonary semilunar valves and then an aortic semilunar valves. Okay, now with the coronary vessels we are going to see a right coronary artery and a left coronary artery. this guy is going to branch into the circumflex artery and into the anterior interventricular artery. This portion is going to stem from the left coronary artery. Then from this side, we're going to have the right coronary artery, which is going to branch into the marginal artery, okay? And then it's also going to branch posteriorly and turn into the posterior interventricular artery, okay? And we're going to see that one. Let me just erase this a little bit. There we go. I'm going to use another color. So basically it's going to do this and go to the back and then like this, okay? And that's going to be the posterior interventricular artery, okay? Now your turn. And now we're going to talk about the anterior cardiac veins, okay? So we have a great cardiac vein that is going to go. Then we're going to have the small cardiac vein. And then in the back, we're going to have the coronary sinus and the middle cardiac vein, okay? Now your turn. Now in the heart, you guys see it. So this is anterior, and this is the right ventricle. So we have the interventricular anterior vein, the coronary artery, and then if it was posterior, a guy will go in the back and form the posterior interventricular artery. Then from the left side, we're going to have the anterior interventricular artery, but also the circumflex artery, okay? Here, there's no heart. Just looking at an empty space without a heart, okay? So this guy is the aortic arch, and this one is going to branch into brachiocephalic artery and the left common carotid artery, okay? We have talked about this area, so we have our EKG. This one is the P wave, the QRS segment or complex, and a T wave. These are the measurements. Each cycle lasts 0.6 seconds. Okay? Depolarization of the atrium, depolarization of the ventricle, repolarization of the ventricles. Okay? The reason that you guys don't see a repolarization of the atrium is because it happens here and it's not shown. Okay? All right, same thing. Depolarization of the atrium. Depolarization is complete, and then the ventricles are going to depolarize. The depolarization is complete, and then they repolarize. Intrinsic conduction of the heart. We have a SA node that is going to spread to the atria. Then it's going to go through the internodal pathway to the atrioventricular node. From there to the bundle of Hess or interventricular bundle. Then to the branches, left and left, and then to the Purkinje fibers. All right? And that is it.